and welcome to Side Character Quest, a one-on-one actual play series where each quest we are joined by a different player exploring the same world of magic, mosquitoes, and... Give me another M word, Eli.
Murder?
Yes, murder. My name is Ty, and I am the host of this here show, and this week I am joined by returning guest player, Eli. Eli!
What up?
Yeah, there we go.
No, I said what up, but then it sounded like you had an actual question for me, so.
No, I didn't. Do you have anything you want to share?
Dog, I've been out the game too long.
Too
long I've been out the game. I don't even know how to record.
Well, yeah, man. It's been wild. It has been so long since we've recorded, but enough of that. Let's give a quick recap so any new listeners know
Just start from the beginning.
Everything that they need to know in order to enjoy this episode.
Just start from the beginning.
We're going to start from the very beginning?
No. Hey, this is the third entry. Yeah, this is the third time that I've played this character on this show in a continuing series of events. Don't start with number 3. Start with number 1.
Yeah, this is indeed a sequel quest, which means that it is not a great time for somebody to jump on. This is not a great first episode. But if you're going to power through with that lack of knowledge, or if you just need a refresher, Eli is playing a knight of the god Lumen named Sir Roderick. He went missing and was presumed dead for quite a while, had a crisis of faith, and eventually made it back home with the help...
Same.
Yep.
I just said same. I'm sorry. It wasn't worth adding.
And eventually made it back home with the help of an anxious hermit, a magical child, and an undead skeletal coppersmith. When he finally made it home, his father, the High Priest of Lumen, told him that, hey, this is really bad timing, so I'm going to have to imprison you until I know you aren't able to screw up my plans. Roderick tried to reason with him. That's a mess up in my script. But now his only hope is to escape his father's clutches so he can save his new friends and potentially other people. Who knows? Who knows what Lord Frederick is up to? Did I miss anything important, Eli?
Yeah, you said that I only had the help of a magical child, a hermit, and an undead skeleton. You forgot it's actually 2 undead skeletons. I think you were ignoring the undead skeletal horse.
Gotcha. Instead of Dungeons and Dragons, which is what we've played in the past, we're going to be playing a custom Forged in the Dark game. I'll explain most game mechanics when and if they come up, but the important thing to know is that Eli can spend stress to do special things like resisting the consequences of his actions or flashing back to an earlier scene, just like in real life.
Yeah, and anytime I recall a memory, it fucking stresses me out. I was thinking back on my wedding day yesterday. Oof. Stressed me the shit out.
That
wasn't a joke about my wedding day being being stressful. That was just a joke about how, thinking about... Cut all this.
Okay.
Just cut it all. I'm not explaining this joke.
You're not digging this hole for yourself.
Cut everything except for I'm not explaining this joke.
Okay, perfect. I'll add another bleep sound.
Yeah, there we go.
Are you ready to get going?
I thought we were going.
Oh, yeah.
Look around, Ty. The car's in motion and you're driving. Should I be worried?
I would like you to
Nope. You didn't say let's dive right in.
All right, let's dive right in.
There we go. Oh, I'm back, baby. Look around. I'm here.
I would like you to close your eyes, Eli. Roderick. Imagine yourself smaller. The light of the sun is warm on your skin. The water rocks you. The rough wood of the ferry's benches creak under the weight of you and your grandparents. They're talking about your father back in Cirque, about how much time he's spending with the church now. But the words slip past your mind. They're taking you up the river to a play. It's a long ride, but you know that it is going to be worth it. What excites you about this play?
Hold on, Ty. That just changed everything because when you said the fairies benches, I was like, why the fuck am I hanging out with the Fae now?
No worries. Ferry, boat ferry.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. What most excites me about the play? Great fucking question, Ty. What do I get excited? Snacks.
Snacks.
Oh, the snacks. The snacks at the play? You gotta love theater snacks. It's the only time popcorn really... It's like... You ever been to a theater and you get popcorn because it smells so good, but you're eating it and it's like, this is actually not as good as it smelled, but it's still okay because now you have that good popcorn smell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is there... So we've talked before that Roderick was a bit of a theater kid growing up. Would you say that this is before he has gotten super into that?
I don't remember saying that Roderick was a theater kid, Ty.
Well, this is what happens when it's been like 3 years since you played a character.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm real little, right? I'm small. Going to I'm on a ferry. My dad's just started to get interest into the church, or like going to the church a whole lot. Then this is probably I imagine whenever he is with his father, it's all like church stuff, right? Like you have to like church stuff and probably a lot of physical training, more than like really having a like time to go into it, or more like physical training instead of having like a creative outlet.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting. So I think that like, you know, when you are, you know, sitting here basically daydreaming, looking like you are almost asleep, you hear some of that conversation from your grandparents. You hear them talking about how this kid needs a childhood, needs to not be worked so hard, and that just kind of like passes through your mind.
Which side of the grandparent? Like, what is this? My father's or my mother?
This is Lord Cedric.
Okay.
And his wife, who I don't think we've given a name. I don't think it's come up.
We
typically
in
only give
classic.
names.
We in classic Tolkien fashion have not named any of the women.
That is correct. We typically, in my defense, I think I typically only give names to characters when they show up on the show. So what would be a good name for Lady Grandma, as I have her listed on the list on the sheet?
Sue Ellen.
Sue Ellen. That's a classic Southern name of Sue slash Ellen. Ellen.
Sue hyphen Ellen.
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lady Sue Ellen and Lord Cedric, and they've just been chatting up. And so you're on that boat. You are just rocking peacefully in the sun. Wake up. Get moving. The light of the sun is warm on your skin. The water rocks you. The rough wood of the ferry's benches creak under your weight. You can hear the shifting weight of lumineers standing on deck, ready to strike you down at the first sign of struggle. Your father has betrayed you for some reason you don't understand. Wakened from this reverie, you see that they've taken you up the river to some place just to keep you out of his way. To keep you safe, he said. You walk, head shrouded with cloth, off of a boat past some trees. Your feet step across planks of wood, and with the sound of shifting metal, your stomach lurches as you feel the ground beneath your feet drop slowly downward. Time is tricky. It's hard to say how long they shuffled you around Cirque before putting you on that boat and shipping you upriver, but eventually they dropped you off in this not quite a prison. How long are they going to keep you here? You're not kept in a cell per se, but you certainly aren't allowed to venture far from this room of mirrors. So, Eli, this is what I want to ask you. What have you been doing for the last couple of weeks of captivity?
So I'm kind of stuck in one room. Is that what's happening?
So you haven't been kept in just a single room. You were allowed in access into this hallway at first when you first enter this place. You were allowed into the hallway just outside. There is a room, even smaller room, like down the hall that has a hole in it that you are using as a lavatory. But that is all you are allowed to see, at least at first.
Someone bust in. Not in the hole. That's the sacred hole.
That's a sacred hole.
Okay.
Your goal right now is to gather information about this prison you're in, about the guards that you have, what sort of precautions are being kept or keeping you here. Figure that out until you can make your escape.
Okay.
And when you can make your escape, we will be shifting phases.
So the rooms I have access to are this horrifying room of mirrors, a hallway, and the whole room.
Yeah, and so the room of mirrors that you're in, looking around, you realize that it doesn't take you long to realize that this is a dressing room of some sort. It's along one wall are 3 or 4 different mirrors in front of desks. There's a full-length mirror on the back. It looks like there used to be, there are spots to hang up clothes that are no longer here, that sort of thing. It's clearly some sort of dressing room.
Okay. Are there any cabinets, or is there anything in there that I can, what? So it's just like desks and mirrors and stuff?
Most of the obviously useful things have been taken out, like most clothes and costuming, that sort of thing has been removed. But there are probably a few things like makeup, old makeup that looks like it has been touched in a very long time. There's a moth flitting around in a corner in front of a little carve out in the wall with some symbols on it. And yeah, there's a few little odds and ends, but if there's anything in particular that you are looking for?
Does he still have what does he have? Did Frederick take everything from him?
So, things that he definitely has on him right now are a change of clothes. We'll say he has 2 changes of clothes.
Like an extra? Okay, so yeah. He has extra clothes.
2 changes of clothes. He has whatever he was wearing when he first, got back. Plus, he has a change of light green Lumineers tunic and robes. So the green typically indicating somebody who is very new to the order of the Church of Lumen. So he has a change of clothes of that. Beyond that, I believe he would probably have the little prosthetic cap that Treya had made for him on his missing arm.
Okay.
And beyond that, probably doesn't have any other stuff with him.
Okay, so he doesn't have a religious symbol on him, does he?
No, he does not have a religious symbol on him. Presumably there are religious symbols in this place somewhere if the Lumineers are guards, are guarding you.
Yeah, I assume it would be on the Lumineers.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess the first few days that he is there, he's just walking around and trying to casually just open drawers and cabinets and stuff. He's not a particular subtle person, so I don't know how well that's working. He probably spends a lot of time praying and in meditation on the new oath that he has taken.
I would like you to roll me an attune.
Okay. Huh, that's a 5.
A 5. So the way that Forge in the Dark works for listeners, Eli has 2 in attune. That means he rolls just 1. 1 in attune. Oh, you did really good. That means that he can roll 1 dice, and then he takes if he was rolling multiple dice, then he would take the highest of the dice that he's rolled. And if it's a 1 to a 3, then it's a failure. A 4 to a 5, it's a mixed result. 6, it's a success. If he gets multiple 6s, it's a critical success. So, in the case of attuning, so you've been praying on this. You've been praying on your new oath to Lumen. Your oath, which has to do with peace and understanding and taking this pacifist lifestyle. You don't get any concrete boon from praying to Lumen during this time, but you do get you do get a sense, an understanding of the guards that occasionally come in to check on you, occasionally bring you food, and that understanding is telling you these guys are new to this. These guys, and I say guys in a genderless way, these people are not as attuned to Lumen as you, and you get the sense that even if they had a religious symbol, a holy symbol, they would not be able to perform any sort of major magic with it. Maybe they could create a little bit of light, but that is about it. So you have a sense that these guys are not a direct magical threat.
Okay. Still probably a physical threat to a recent amputee who's been surviving off rotten mushrooms for several months. Okay, I think after kind of taking that inventory that I took earlier of just the random odds and ends around, I think he would start to like hoard things every now and then, like just start collecting things and like maybe establish that he sits at a certain desk a lot. Like that's just his comfortable chair. But what he's doing the whole time is like just, he'll pick up, a piece of old lipstick here and just kind of drop it in that, kind of like slowly accumulating things, but in a way that's not overtly obvious. And it's not even like he doesn't even know what he's going to do with it, because it's like lipstick's not going to get him out of prison. And I think I would like you to roll me a sneak. Goody. You've got a zero in this, which means you roll 2 and take the lower. That is a 3.
3. Okay. So what I'll say about this is that you are not able to get. This is a controlled situation, right? Like you're just like trying to acquire random bits and bobs that are in the room. I will say that one day you come in, or you're doing this, and one of the guards happens to come in at that moment. Hey, what you got over there?
Bits and bobs. Just bits and bobs.
Okay.
Some Sallys. Some Johns.
All right. He eyes you suspiciously, this guy. Again, green uniform, clearly new to Lumen. He drops your food on a desk and then walks out. You will have to be very careful about trying to do anything else sneaky right now.
Is anyone else watching right now?
There is a person at the other end of the hallway that leads out somewhere. You are down that hallway in another room with a door. Okay,
so that door's, I can close that door, or that door is closed?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then I immediately move my bits and bobs.
Nice. To just another spot so he can't come and get it?
I disperse them in like places where I can, like, I know where they are.
Okay.
Even though, again, I don't think any of these bits and bobs are going to be super useful, except for one thing, which is I think Roderick starts at the beginning of side character quest, Roderick was a very large, beefy guy, but he has been severely wounded, sick in prison, eating, whatever he can forage essentially for a long time. So I imagine he's a lot skinnier now.
Yeah.
He also probably still doesn't really know how to work out with just one arm. So I think he starts I can't work out my upper body. And he does a lot of squats and lunges, down the hall, lunges and back or high stepping up and down. So he does it in every room that he's in. When he goes to use the restroom, he lunges down the hallway, does short sprints, stuff like that, to establish that he is doing these things.
Get people used to the idea that you're moving around and doing stuff.
Yeah. And I think another thing that he does is regularly trips or stumbles, to establish that he's still getting used to the awkward waiting of just having the one arm and all that up until a certain point. Which, do you want me to roll to see how much they buy that?
Could you repeat that into the mic?
Do you want me to roll to see how much they buy that? How'd that sound, Ty?
Oh, it sounded great.
It actually looked like it came out pretty well, which is frustrating.
Yes. Give me a roll on this. Would you say this is more of how are you trying to get this across? It feels like a sway to me, but I would hear an argument for something else.
I think this would be I can't think of anything else that it would be, because it's not a hunt or a study or a tinker. Maybe a maneuver?
We'll say it's a sway. So you're trying to deceive these people. That's the impression I'm getting, right? You're trying to give them a sense that you are less than you actually are, right?
Yeah. Okay. So my lowest, I got a 5 and a 6.
Hell yeah! All right. So you are trying to convince these people that you're worse off than you actually are, and I will say that that you have succeeded in doing that, right? You have given them a very clear impression that you are in a bad way, but at the same time, because you are moving around, and this is going to be the sort of mixed result here, because you're moving around so much, they are paying extra care to listen for you moving up and down the hall. That's put them on edge a little bit.
Okay.
So between that and the other sneaking attempt, these guards are a bit on extra edge. They had when you arrived here, you were being treated very kindly for somebody being forced to stay in this room against their will, but there is a certain amount of freedom that you're being afforded. That is starting to erode away by the second week. They're starting to watch you much more closely.
Okay. So the next thing that Roderick's going to do after he feels like he has established these things is he is going to be doing lunges in the room with the mirrors. And you said that there was a full-length floor to ceiling mirror.
Yes.
He is going to lunge slightly too far and break a chunk off that bottom of that mirror.
Okay.
And he's going to do it on purpose, but it's going to be as if he is doing a lunge and has just stepped half a foot too far and hit the mirror.
Yeah.
And he is intending to hit it so that from the ball of his foot forward kind of presses onto the mirror, and the attempt to get a 6-inch chunk of mirror glass broken off.
Rad.
What I'm talking about? How when you break glass, it shatters around where you break.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if you extend the area of where you're pressing in and it pressed against it, essentially I'm trying to make a small disc of glass.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I would suggest that would be a maneuver.
That seems okay. Okay, I was gonna say tinker or sneak, but if you're gonna say maneuver, give me your explanation for that.
I'm saying maneuvers because he is specifically attempting to do something physical in a very specific way.
Uh-huh.
Whereas like he's not tinkering with it. He's not sitting there with like a chisel, and he's not being sneaky.
Yeah.
He is attempting to use an established pattern to cover something that he is doing, but like the actual action is like a very dexterous sort of this is yeah.
Okay, I will say that you can do maneuver. If you were to do tinker, for example, then the consequence would not have to do, if you failed, the consequence would not have to do with you not creating the blade, right? If you did sneak, the consequence would not necessarily have to do with you being too loud. With maneuver, like you're prioritizing doing the physical movement correctly. So
Yeah.
you might get caught doing this. You might bring extra attention on yourself. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll me that maneuver. Remember,
Can I take a stress to bump up to roll add a die?
You can. It would be 2 stress to push yourself. Listeners, Eli has 9 stress total before bad things happen. Do not let that happen.
Oh, what could be worse? I've lost an arm and I've been in prison twice. Literally, the only thing that bad could happen would be if he died at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. That's happened already. Let me roll my 2d6. That's a 6, motherfucker.
Hell
I do
yeah.
it perfectly. So important to know, the other die I rolled was a 1.
Which one was the first? Which one were you more likely to roll?
I don't know. I just picked up the 2d6s and rolled them both. So
yeah.
So that's a perfect success.
Yes, you are able to roll this. It does not make a tremendous amount of noise right now. You do not give yourself a huge fucking gash, and you do create that piece of glass that you wanted. Don't tell me what you're using that for yet, unless you have like a specific idea. You don't have to commit to that at this point.
No, I know exactly what I'm using it for.
Okay.
I think you think it's a blade. It's not a blade.
Okay.
It brings me to my next thing that I'm going to do.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So mirrors are important because they do what, Ty?
They reflect light.
They reflect light, Ty.
Yes.
So he is going to, at this point, I imagine I have an idea of the comings and goings of the guards.
Yeah, you have a pretty good idea.
So while the guards are like not here, like in times when it's like, all right, guard has just left, give it like 30-45 minutes, wait to do their round, he is going to start shaping the glass. But what are the light sources in the room with the dressing rooms?
I had not thought about that. Let's say
give me a torch, Ty.
Yeah, let's say that there is a some sort of like lanterns that they bring you, like candles that they set into these little sconces on the wall. They'll give you like a one match like every couple days, and like some candles, and let you like keep them lit.
Okay, so I think
you see a moth flitting around the little sconces.
I think like you know how when you first light a candle it burns really bright?
Yes.
I think he is going to wait until a good time, like after the guards have gone, to light a candle, and every time he does that, he tries to chip away a little bit at this under the light, with like just kind of getting as much reflection into the mirror as he can. He is going to chip away, make a jagged edge around the mirror. And he is essentially attempting to channel as much light into this mirror as he attempts to make his own religious symbol.
Hell yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me an attune for this. That's awesome.
I think I'm gonna take more stress.
That's so cool.
Because I think this is like clutch to his plans. Like these are major things that he's attempting to do.
That's really cool.
Or instead of taking stress, can I say that I am using some of the old makeup tools to do this, or is that too much of a stress?
You know what?
Stretch.
I'll say that since you have come up with so when you're playing a Forge in the Dark game, you have a certain amount of gear on you, and as long as you can come up with a narrative justification for why you have that thing, you can just have it. One of the options on the list is Arcana.
Okay.
And you have come up with a great narrative explanation for why you could have a thing. So I'm just going to say you don't have to roll for this. You have that.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And I think he definitely, like, as he's chipping away at it, since I rolled so well on the maneuver, I'm taking, like, all the chippings and putting them around the, like, thing to make it look like. So if anyone ever notices, oh, hey, this mirror's broken, it's like, oh, yeah, and here are the pieces.
Perfect. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so now I have my religious symbol.
And I think I'll also say that, like, when you think about things that you might have found in like this room over this period of time, if it's on the gear list, then we can say that you have come across that as well.
So can I include makeup kits?
You don't need to write that down or choose that until it is relevant in the game. So if you want to say, like, if at some point during the acting out of the mission, acting out your escape, you need a makeup kit, then you can be like, check, that's off the thing. I grabbed that. That counts as part of my gear. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I have that.
I would say that you should probably do something to try to figure out more about the prison or about what you will find out outside of this place. Yeah.
Okay. I want to check out that little cutout that has all the weird symbols in it that the moth was flying around earlier.
Cool. Going over to that, you take a look at this and you see there's a little drawing of, like, logs that are in a sort of circle at the bottom of this. It's kind of like you imagine, like, the sort of cutout that you would see a statue of the Virgin Mary in like a wall.
Okay. I didn't grow up Catholic.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's one of those things. But there's nothing in it. There's nothing visible except for this little sketch on the bottom of, like, logs, and then there's that little moth flitting around. You could roll me a study if you want.
I want to do something else first.
Yeah, go for it.
Just to take an egg. Okay, I see a moth fluttering around something. Roderick knows the stuff about riddles and gods and whatnot. He's going to take his little mirror religious symbol and try to reflect some light onto those logs. Does that do anything?
I'll say yes. You hold it there for a little while and nothing seems to happen at first, but then a small little burst of flame happens and, like, sits above those logs, and the moth flits down, and there's a sort of light, a shade, and then you see that there's a caterpillar crawling around this campfire. It's odd. 10 minutes later, you look again, and now there's a pupa. 10 minutes later, there's a moth. So on and so forth.
All right, I guess I'll do a study now. I got nothing. I'm not smart. That's a 1.
Hell yes. Okay. Okay. So, you are looking at this, and you're just, like, watching this happen, and you kind of, like, reach out to try to pick up to try to, like, get some sort of information about this moth, which you are looking at it. You see its wings flit open, and you see a face on the back of the wings, and then they close and they open again, and there's a different face. And then they close and they open again, there's a different face. And as you reach forward to try to touch this, your hand brushes against the fire and you pull back. And the flame goes out and the moth has disappeared.
All right. Cool. So this prison, there's the room, there's the hallway, there's the other room. How are the guards getting in and out? Is there like another door that I'm not?
Yeah, so there is another door on the opposite end of the hallway that is like letting them out into some other space.
Okay, so because I've been thinking of room, hallway, room, like 2 points at the end of a segment.
Nah.
This is like there's a hallway. The mirror room is in the like sort of
in the middle-ish.
Okay.
And the place you're pooping's at the other end.
All right.
I assume you could be pooping in the mirror room. Who knows?
At this point, I'm just pooping everywhere. The hole's been filled. Okay. So here's the thing, Ty. You've put me in a prison break.
Yes.
Which is cool and all.
Yes.
However, you have been a part of 2 prison breaks in our Dungeons and Dragons group, and can you tell me how we've gotten through those prison breaks, Ty?
By totally destroying anything that I have planned for you?
Yeah, so it's just fighting the way out. Like, I don't... Okay, so...
Do you feel right now that if Roderick was to just fight his way out, he would be able to do that?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
But I do now have several shards of glass, so who knows? No, I'm not saying that as like, oh, my character is going to do that. I'm saying that as in me, Eli, I don't know how to get out of jail. But I do have a 2 in command, so I think... So and the next time a guard...
Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, keep in mind that, like, we are flashing through, like, a fairly long period of time, right? Like, you can be staying here, like, earning trust with these people over the course of, like, weeks if you want.
2 to 5 weeks, specifically.
2 to 5 weeks, specifically, yes.
I think one day one of the guards comes in to drop food off, and I just grab him by the collar and I say, "Where are we?"
Okay. Roll me.
And I would like to roll a command.
Yeah, roll me a command.
Oh, good. A 3.
3. Okay. Yeah. He fucking punches you in the face. Take a black eye as a harm, as a level 1 harm. You can, by the way, you can resist the consequences of you don't get any information if you want.
So what's it goes 1 to 3 is a failure?
Yes, 1 to 3 is a failure.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll try to resist that.
All right. So that would be prowess to resist. So you have 2 in prowess. So you can roll 2, take the highest.
That's a 5?
Hell yeah. So you only take 6 minus 5. 6 stress minus 5 is your roll. So you take 1 stress to resist it. So you hit the ground and the guy like looks at you. What did you ask exactly? Remind me.
Where are we?
We're in the pit. This guy shakes you, shakes off the sort of like startle, and he looks at you, and there's a bit of like pity in his eyes. Like he doesn't seem angry with you. He just seems like he was shocked and like you're in a bad position, right?
Yeah.
And so he looks at you on the ground. You're, thinner. You've lost an arm. You're in this like shitty room. He looks at you and he says, "You're in the pit theater."
Okay. I assume Roderick would know what that means.
Yes, you hear that word and you remember a play that your grandfather took you to many years ago.
Okay.
At the Pit Theater. which is just it's just east of Cirque. It's along the Seganom River, and it is a large sort of theater in the round, built into a large pit in the forest, a sinkhole, as it were.
Okay.
He looks at you and he shakes his head, and listen, none of us are happy that you're here. Just hang on a bit longer, all right?
So why am I here?
He looks at you again. I'm just... You've got to stay here. That's all I know. All right, that's all I know. You're supposed to stay here, all right? Just stay, keep your head down, wait it out.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you're fellow Lumineer.
Do you know who I am?
He looks you up and down. You don't recognize this guy. He's not somebody you've met before. But as you ask that, he has like a brief flash of recognition. What are you trying to achieve right now in asking this, Eli?
Do you know who my father is? I just want to know how much these people know. Like, do they know that, Roderick, who everyone in every Lumineer in like the country is out looking for, or was looking for, is now just currently in here. Like Roderick, son of the High Priest of Lumen, the heir apparent to that role one day, is currently just gotten socked in the eyeball by this fucking nobody.
Yeah. Roll me a sway. You can make another argue. You can argue for something else if you want.
Can I? This could be silly.
Yeah. I'm all about silly.
So, Lumen is the god of the sun and light. Yeah. And seeing truth, we've established that a lot of the spells that I have done using Lumen has helped Roderick see things that are there.
Yes.
So I would like to argue that Roderick, in the Dungeons and Dragons parlance, has the spell akin to minor illusion, and would like to almost make a hallucination over his face showing who he used to, like how he used to look.
Okay.
Which I assume would potentially have some familiar resemblance to Frederick. But like he doesn't want to make a big, like he just kind of wants to do like a brief flash with his like just kind of like his holy symbols in his pocket. Yeah. And since this is like a really minor like cantrip thing, just kind of do it real, like just quick flash of this is remember who I am sort of thing.
Your religious oath that you took the on this path of redemption, we gave that 3 tags. We gave it Lumen, peace, and understanding. And I feel like conveying this understanding, that is, well, that magic, that arcane religious oath, I feel like this does fall within the bounds of attuning. I will say that because you're trying to like call upon magic in this moment, that's a much trickier thing to do. So I will say if you do that, the potential outcome is like you could do much better, but this would be a desperate roll. So if you fail this, bad stuff will happen.
Okay, so I still roll the 1 die for my attune.
Yes.
That's a 4.
Ooh. Okay, good. This person looks at you. Tell me what this looks like when you do this.
And I get to mark a gumption for rolling in a desperate situation.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, ask that question again.
Tell me what this looks like when you do this.
I think it almost looks like my face. It's like he is looking at my face in water, and then like the sun kind of like comes from behind a cloud, brightening up that patch, and where it like shows Roderick as he was when he went missing.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of like publicity this church has for its high members, but anyone who's familiar with Roderick would probably be aware of what he looks like or some of the features of like this. Even if he doesn't know, oh, that is Roderick, he might know, oh, this is someone clearly related to this whole family, like Lord Frederick and Lord Cedric and Lord Rick and Lord Peric and Lord Limerick.
You went for Rick before Eric.
I forgot Eric.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we've ever used that one before in any of my notes.
I haven't gotten to Eric yet.
Nope.
Yeah. And I just made great grandpappy Limerick, but
good. Okay. So this magical just sort of illusion passes over your face, and you see clear in this person's eyes. It locks in. He looks at you. He sees how you looked before you were beaten and broken, and he recognizes. You see understanding pass over his face as he recognizes his boss in you, and it makes the connection of like, oh shit, this is the guy that's been missing that everyone says is dead. What does this mean? But on a mixed success, what I'm going to say is you see him have that realization, and then he lowers his head and he says, I'm sorry, I've got... I have to follow.
That's
I have
okay.
to follow orders.
There's only one order that you have to follow, son, and that's the order of Lumen.
He averts his eyes from you and walks out, closes the door behind him, and you hear him close the other door down the hall.
It's like, wow, I really fucking took a risk there.
Yeah, Eli, just so since you haven't had a ton of experience with In the Dark, I just want to let you know, even though that didn't play out super well, that would be the perfect thing to like flash back to in the future, or to say like, oh, this, like I've made some sort of connection with this guy during the mission, right? Like if anything goes badly, you can say like, you can call on this interaction to work in it, to help you out in some future instance.
Question.
Yes.
I have made some sort of connection with this guard.
Yes.
How many other guards are there?
That is a great question.
Like would I have noticed, like, is there a large staff here taking care of like Frederick's fucking hidden sin? Or are there is it like a very small group? What are we looking at?
I will ask you to roll me a study again. Yeah.
Oh, double fives.
Double fives. All right. Yeah. So this is what you know. You know that there are at least like a rotating group of like 5 people. You see that after a couple of weeks, after a week or so in the prison, one of the people just stops coming. So presumably they have left to go take care of something else, or maybe they're just not coming back here anymore. But there's always, you can tell like through the course of the day, based on the voices you hear, based on like the stuff going on, there's got to be at least 5 people in this facility, in the pit theater.
Okay.
There could be more, and that's what I'll say is like the mixed result on here. You keep like listening in on like conversations at the door whenever like 2 of them are guarding at the same time, and you can never get the sense of like they never say anything helpful about what else is going on in this place, unprompted by you at least.
Okay. Do they wear helmets? Yeah.
I would say that it varies. Sometimes like somebody will come in and they'll be wearing a helmet. Other times they're not. But like it doesn't seem like... You know what? Actually, this is what I'll say. The first week, no one's wearing a helmet. Second week, there is clearly like somebody is wearing like a brand new fucking helmet. brand new spanking helmet. Looks like it is hot off the presses.
Helmet.
Spanking. It's a spanking helmet. And after like a few days of some of the guards wearing these helmets, they probably stop wearing them quite as much because, you know, who wants to wear a helmet all the time, especially with like you not being like violent with them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're yes, occasionally someone will wear a helmet.
Okay. So Roderick has been to the Pit Theater. He's a theater kid. This is a theater right outside of Cirque. He would probably know, like, okay, this is where the backstage area is. Based on that, he probably has a good layout of like a theater, right?
Yes.
Like, is that and he knows, okay, it's by a river. When you go, you know, this way to the, like, on the river, like, he has a general idea of
where they're located.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, and Ty, let me know if you think I'm way over confident here, but I think I might be ready to make a break for it.
Hell yes.
But before we do, can we take a drink break?
Yes, we can. We can take a break. Let's do it.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bop.
Thank you to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Thanks to all of our guests, and thanks to you for listening. You can find us and say hi over at sidecharacterquest.com or by checking out our show notes for more links and information. If you're enjoying the show, drop a rating or review wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you around. Bye!
Hey, I'm Brooke. My friends and I perform spooky stories on our podcast 13. 13 is a movie for your ears with immersive sound design and music from our composer. And we're not reading you the same old ghost stories from Reddit. With original stories from our in-house writers and submissions from up-and-coming authors, 13 will make you smile, break your heart, and have you wishing for a nightlight. Atmospheric, slow burn, always spooky, and sometimes sexy. Our friends are some of the best voice actors and writers in our little corner of the podcast industry. So if you want to find out why those figures in black keep meeting by the water just before dawn, why you should never sleep in a room with an empty chair, or why you hear faint music echoing from the abandoned mall, join us by following 13 wherever you're listening right now. That's 13, the word, not the number, all spelled out. Bridget Howard keeps asking for my teeth. Wherever you get your podcasts.
There'll be like a little music playing and then bloopers.
Okay, you got to make a sound for me, man.
I was making a sound.
Oh, I could not hear it at all. That's weird.
Yeah. It cuts out sounds like that.
Oh,
then.
really? Oh, yeah, you're right. That's great. I've my brief listening back to it was that this automatically deals with some of the background noise and then also levels out our volume so that we should be about the same volume when I have to go back and edit it, which is great.
Okay. Wait, if it's leveling out the background noise, can I turn my air conditioning on?
Yeah. Yeah, go for it.
I don't have to.
Mine's on. Mine's on, so go for it. If it's like, I'll let you know if I can suddenly hear a lot of bad stuff.
Because it's 90 degrees outside,
fuck, man.
At least, so it won't take long. I hope so, because you just started recording.
Yeah, I started recording without asking. That's rude. By the way, I messaged Squadcast's support team about this. It is not possible for me to not record your video unless we just don't have a webcam on. So I will not be using this for anything, but...
Yeah, Yeah, delete the video.
I will delete the video. Yeah, I have no need for this. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it, Eli. But yeah, I'm gonna bite into this apple.
Mm-hmm. It didn't pop up. I heard nothing. Silence on my end.
I think it's getting rid of the crunching on my side too. Like, I don't think it's recording that at all, which is nice. But also, I wonder if it'll pick up these dice rolling. Anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Wow. I like the dice sound. Oh, well. Maybe I'll record some special dice. Anyway.
You hearing this, Ty?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think it's catching that on my side.
I think maybe if you hold it up straight to the mic.
Nope.
Fuck, man. Okay, well, that's good to know.
I'm gonna shake these as I talk, and let me know if you can hear them at any point. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear it while you're talking.
Okay.
Can you hear this while I'm talking? Can you hear this while I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking and rolling dice?
Very faintly, but it mostly just looks like you're.
Oh no.
That's inappropriate, Ty. Canceled.
I've written a script, Eli, so that I do not go insane from having not hosted this show in ages. Feel free to veer me off this script, but I do have specific openings for you. If yeah.
Is it
What?
just a couple for me?
Okay, yeah, exactly. All right.
Anyways, speaking about things, let's for the listeners.
I'm gonna put that into the bloopers, and I'm going to just bleep out what you said so that people could just fill in their own imagination.
It's for the viewers. We can do that because we're recording video because you're a monster.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I messaged Squadcast and told them I didn't want the video, and they were like, "Sorry, man, we haven't added that, but maybe we'll do it in the future."
It's not adding anything. I want you to subtract something.
Yeah, exactly. All right. My mouth feels all dry.
Oh
so
God,
nervous.
I hit a thing that says show stats, and now I got like a heads-up display of colors and numbers.
How strong you are.
This looks like stuff that is Ty's job to monitor, not Eli's.
That's true. Oh God.
Are you good, dude?
Sam just was trying to be very polite and like snuck in to grab something off of her desk, which is right next to my desk now that we're in this new office, and it scared the shit out of me.
Hi, Sam.
Okay. Whew, she did a good job. She was being very, very polite. Okay. He averts his eyes from you and walks out, closes the door behind him, and you hear him close the other door down the hall.
Roderick rolls a cigarette. It's like, wow, I really fucking took a risk there.
Yeah, Eli...
Roderick's picking up smoking with the most rotten tobacco that he found in the underground.